DC Mike Butterick, because apparently, from what I've heard, he's in education, everything as a sheep farmer, except it's more that education apparently is a strong point, I've heard.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak in support of this bill. And isn't it great that on this side of the House we're intent on making sure we lift the outcomes for our young students? And I look at the hard work so far by the incredibly dedicated, focused and passionate Minister of Education, Erica Stanford. The positive feedback from parents has been overwhelming, and I'm thrilled that the spotlight has been put on improved educational outcomes for our young people, because the hopes and dreams of this country in the future rest on their young shoulders. This bill allows for the introduction of charter schools that have the potential to further lift the bar on those aspirations. An appetite for participation, 78 so far, likely counting, shows we're on the right track to getting educational performance back on track. And charter schools are one way, Mr. Speaker, of wanting to lift student achievement and ultimately to help deliver a better economy in the future. We have seen declining student achievement in New Zealand, and this bill will help give teachers greater autonomy to support those underachieving students while having high levels of accountability. Accountability, Mr. Speaker, that's a good thing. And regarding the ECE component of this bill, we're removing the red tape to make it easier to deliver effective, affordable, accessible early learning services to families. And that's in complete contrast to the other side of the House who'd rather spend all their time working out how to relieve hard-working Kiwis of their income with more tax. And this bill also enable rules about collecting, recording and providing attendance data. Simply, we want our kids back at school. I commend this bill to the House.
And also then paying for a toll road for your voters in the Taurua district to head to Palmerston North Hospital.
As a leftist living in his area, I love taxing people. It's fun.
I think he should spend less time in Parliament and more time in his own electorate, because I think at the moment he's probably more likely to get voted out.
Put it this way, I know there was a big campaign to de-seat Kira McAnulty, and, you know, they were pumping him out like the shining armour, and he's just completely full flat. And, I mean, I saw this before this happening, because our experience, again, with It's in the Ballot with him was just garbage.
With Mike Butterick?
Oh, like, no response, no response, no response. Didn't even think it was important to be on there for one of the biggest general electorates of the North Island that stretches across 3 regional councils and 3 district councils boundaries and still have no sets of traffic lights in it, but a hell of a lot of one-lane bridges.
Did Kieran respond though? Was Kieran all good?
Yeah, no, Kieran did go on there. There was a little bit of rockiness in the day of it, and we managed to get him to come in remotely. But Jill went out of her way to get him on there because she was a bit of a screw you to Mike Butterick. Yeah, she went above trying like really hard to get Kieran on there, but she was expressing the point. The fact is, you're in a rural electorate that stretches this far. You've got to actually be seen on there doing this. And this was, you know, and it was evident that with the fact with Mike not being there, it just showed things in there. And Ron Mark and Lawrence Yule gave them shit at a cafe the following day for not being on there.
It's a huge electorate. I mean, it goes all the way from South Wairarapa all the way up to Waipa, which is massive. Yeah, it's and really diverse too.
Oh, exactly. I mean, far out. I mean, everywhere's different in that electorate. They all have their own unique bubbles. Apparently, Marston, they like trim milk.
Yeah, they do.
Do you like trim milk?
No.
Oh, okay.
I like soy
no, I'm allergic to cow's milk, so I prefer coconut.
I think I saw a quote on Politic by Richard Harmond, and he was saying that the people who voted for National weren't voting for National because they like National. They were voting for National because they don't like Labour. It's a bit like a rebel vote. So I think
Romatai electorate was a classic example of that, where a lot of people voted for Julie and Genta because they didn't want to vote for National and they didn't want to vote for Fleur, so they voted for Julie and Genta.
Right. And you saw that in Tamaki as well. You saw that in a lot of electorates this election, actually.
I remember speaking to Auntie Gwen, has lived in Newland in the same place 70 years, grandma's sister. She said, my electoral vote wouldn't really matter where it goes, it's going to go to Labour. Because it's always been Labour. I mean, she had Jonathan Hunt as her MP most of her life. It was like, when I saw election, I was like, oh, heck. Auntie Gwen's not going to be a bit shocked by that result. Because, and yeah, she said it will be her party vote will be the most influential one of which way does it go. And originally she was looking at national, but her bottom line was live animal exports. So I don't know where her vote ended up going.